My husband was on his knees in front of everyone, his expensive suit dirty from the floor, his hands shaking as he held my dress. The big hotel hall was silent. The band had stopped playing. The CEO's daughter, the woman he left me for, stood frozen with her perfect makeup ruined by tears. On the big screen behind us, all the secrets I had kept for months were playing like a movie. His lies, his cheating, his messages, his deals. He looked up at me, eyes red, voice breaking. "Please, Emily, I am sorry. Please, take me back. I made a mistake. I lost everything." The same man who once told me I was not good enough to stand beside him was now begging in front of the same rich people he tried so hard to impress. The CEO's business partners were whispering. Some were shaking their heads. The CEO himself was staring at my husband like he was dirt under his shoe. I could feel every eye in the room on me. My heart was beating fast, but not from fear. This was the moment I had planned for so long. The moment he finally felt the pain he gave me. I leaned closer so only he could hear me. "You thought I would suffer in silence," I whispered. "You thought I would cry and disappear. Look around you, Daniel. Who is suffering now?" His fingers tightened around my dress. "Please, Emily, I have nothing left. They took my job. The deal is gone." She broke off the engagement. "You were the only one who ever loved me. Please." I took a deep breath. You might think this is the moment I forgave him. You might think I helped him stand up and told everyone to stop. But if you knew what he did to me, to our home, to my heart, you would not ask me to save him. Because this moment, this broken man on his knees, did not come from nowhere. It started long before the CEO's daughter. Long before the big hotel, the bright lights, and the cold stares. It started the night he came home with a strange smile on his face and told me our simple life was not enough anymore. 2 years earlier, we were just a normal couple. We lived in a small but clean apartment. I cooked his favorite meals. He worked late but always came home and kissed my forehead. On weekends, we watched movies on our old couch and dreamed of a better future. We did not have much money, but we had each other. At least, that is what I thought. Then he joined a new company owned by a very rich CEO. Suddenly, Daniel started talking differently. He talked about status, power, and being seen. He complained about our car, our furniture, even my clothes. He wanted more, more, more. At first I tried to understand. I said, "We will grow together. Just do not forget where you came from, okay?" He smiled and said he would never forget. He lied. Soon, I noticed he was always on his phone, laughing at messages he would not show me. He worked late every night. He smelled of a perfume that was not mine. He called me boring when I asked him to spend time with me. One evening, he came home in a new suit I had never seen before. His hair was freshly cut. He did not hug me. He just sat down, opened a folder, and pushed some papers across the table. "Sign these, Emily," he said calmly. I picked up the papers. My hands started to shake as I read the first line. It was not a loan form. It was not a job offer. It was something else, something that hit me like a slap. They were divorce papers. I stared at the divorce papers, my hands cold, my heart beating louder than the ticking clock on the wall. For a moment, I thought it was a prank. Daniel liked jokes sometimes, but this one felt too sharp. Too real. I looked at him, searching his face for any hint of kindness, but all I saw was a hard, proud expression that did not belong to the man I married. "Why?" I whispered. He didn't blink. "Because I'm moving forward, Emily. I've outgrown this life. And you." His words cut deeper than a knife. I felt something inside me break, but I tried to stay calm. "So you want to divorce me, for who?" He hesitated for a second, but pride pushed his chest out. "The CEO's daughter, Ava. She sees my potential. She believes I can be someone important." I felt my stomach twist. "So, you're leaving me for money?" He shrugged. "You can call it whatever you want. But Ava comes from a powerful family. This marriage will change my life. It's business, and ambition." Ambition. That was the word he used to destroy everything we had built. I wanted to scream, cry, throw something, but I knew that would only make him feel justified. So I signed the first page slowly without saying another word. I didn't finish the rest. I simply pushed the pen down and walked to our bedroom, closing the door before he could see my tears. That night, while he slept peacefully on the couch, I sat awake thinking of all the years I gave him. The sacrifices. The nights I supported him when he had nothing. The meals I cooked. The dreams we shared. He threw all of that away for a woman he barely knew. That was the moment something inside me changed. I didn't know it then, but the seed of revenge was planted that night. The next morning, he packed his bags and moved out without even looking back. He left me with the bills, the memories, and the cold bed. I cried for days, but no one saw me. Not even my family. I kept everything quiet. I didn't want anyone to pity me. But pain, when it stays too long, becomes something else. It becomes fire. It becomes a plan. One afternoon, as I walked past his new company, I saw him stepping out of a black car with Ava. She was stylish, tall, beautiful, and carried herself like someone who had never struggled a day in her life. Daniel looked different beside her. Confident, polished, like he had already forgotten I existed. But he didn't see me. Not yet. And I was glad, because he had no idea what I was working on. I spent weeks studying him, learning his weaknesses, understanding his new world. I followed quietly, like a shadow. Not to hurt him physically, but to hit him where it would destroy him the most. His pride, his ambitions, his new status. The first step was small. I gathered every piece of evidence of his lies and shady deals. Every message he sent to women while he was still married to me. Every document he forged. Every illegal shortcut he used to impress the CEO. But I needed something bigger. Something that would shake the ground under his feet. And that opportunity came sooner than I expected. One evening, while watching them from afar at an expensive restaurant, I saw something shocking. Ava was smiling sweetly at Daniel, but her phone screen flashed with a message she was clearly trying to hide. From another man. A man whose name I recognized. The CEO's business rival. My heart stopped. My mind raced. This was the crack I needed to bring everything crashing down. I took a step closer to get a better view. But just then, Ava turned her head sharply, her eyes narrowing, looking straight at me. Ava's eyes locked on mine like a hawk spotting something strange in the distance. For a second, I froze. I didn't expect her to notice me, not in a crowded restaurant filled with rich people who looked just like her. But something in her face shifted. Suspicion, curiosity, maybe even fear. She leaned closer to Daniel and whispered something. Daniel turned his head but didn't see me because a waiter walked between us. That tiny moment saved me. I moved quickly, slipping behind a column before he could look again. My heart thumped hard. I knew I had been too close, too bold. But I also knew one thing. Now, Ava was hiding something big. And that secret could destroy Daniel's new perfect life. When they finally left the restaurant, I stayed hidden until their car drove away. Only then did I step out, my hands shaking not from fear, but from excitement. I had found my weapon. The revenge I needed. The next day, I followed Ava quietly. I watched where she went, who she met, what she did. She was not the angel Daniel believed she was. She met that same man from the message again. They sat in a car talking closely. They held hands. She kissed him before she hurried back into her father's company, pretending nothing happened. Meanwhile, Daniel walked around proudly inside the building, telling everyone how lucky he was to be marrying the CEO's daughter. He didn't know his perfect woman was cheating. Not just cheating, cheating with his future father-in-law's enemy. But I did, and I knew exactly what to do with that knowledge. Still, I needed proof. Solid proof. Proof that would embarrass Daniel so deeply he would feel everything he made me feel. So I kept watching, recording, gathering, documenting. Slowly building a box of secrets that could burn his whole new world down. One afternoon, while following Ava again, something unexpected happened. She stepped out of her car and walked into a cafe. I stayed outside, pretending to scroll on my phone. But then I saw Daniel walk toward the same cafe, smiling proudly like a man who thought he owned the world. Before he entered, someone shouted his name. It was one of his coworkers. Daniel stopped to talk. That delay changed everything. Because it gave me the chance to see something shocking inside the cafe window. Ava was sitting with the other man again, and this time she wasn't hiding anything. Their hands were on the table, fingers intertwined. They were laughing. They were whispering. And then, without hesitation, she kissed him. Right there. In public. In broad daylight. And Daniel was just seconds away from walking in. This was it. This was the moment I had been waiting for. I took out my phone, opened my camera, and pressed record. I captured everything. The kiss, the smiling, the way they held each other like lovers who didn't care. But then something happened that I didn't plan. The door of the cafe opened suddenly. Ava stepped out, and she walked straight toward me. Not confused, not surprised, not scared. She walked with confidence, like she had known I was there the whole time. I tried to hide my phone, but it slipped from my hand and fell to the floor. Ava stopped right in front of me, looked me dead in the eyes, and said in a calm, cold voice, "So, you're the ex-wife." My heart dropped. She knew exactly who I was. Before I could reply, she bent down, picked up my phone, and held it to her chest. Then she leaned closer and whispered a sentence that made my blood turn cold. "You don't know what kind of game you just stepped into, Emily." Then she pressed something on my phone screen. And the screen went black. The screen went black, and for a moment I couldn't breathe. Ava handed my phone back slowly, her eyes cold and sharp. It felt like standing in front of a snake that was smiling. She tilted her head and studied my face carefully, almost like she was enjoying my fear. "You think you're smart," she said softly. "But you're not playing with your husband anymore. You're playing with me." I tried to stay calm even though my hands were shaking. "Why are you doing this?" She smirked. "Because you're getting in my way. And because Daniel is useful to me, for now." For now. Those two words echoed in my mind. Before I could speak, the man she had been kissing stepped out of the cafe and placed a hand on her shoulder. He didn't even look at me. He didn't care. They both walked away calmly, like they hadn't just threatened me. I wanted to cry. I wanted to scream. But something stronger rose inside me. Determination. Fire. The same fire Daniel lit when he left me for her. What Ava didn't know was this: the video hadn't saved to my phone alone. I always used auto backup. Even though she locked my screen, the file had already uploaded to my cloud. I checked the backup when she walked away. It was still there, clear and sharp. That tiny victory made my fear disappear. I looked at Ava's back as she got into her car and thought, "You don't know the game I'm playing either." But my brief moment of confidence didn't last long, because something unexpected happened that same evening. Daniel called me. His name flashing on my phone felt strange. Like seeing a ghost. I didn't answer. I watched it ring until it stopped. Then he texted, "We need to talk. It's urgent." Usually, I would have ignored him, but something about that message felt serious. I agreed to meet him the next morning. When he arrived, he looked nervous, almost scared. He kept rubbing his hands together and looking over his shoulder. "Emily, listen. I need your help." I nearly laughed. The man who left me was now asking me for help. "What do you want, Daniel?" He swallowed hard. "It's Ava. Something is wrong. She keeps disappearing. She's hiding phone calls. She acts strange. I don't know what she's doing." I looked at him calmly. "And why are you telling me?" Because you're the only one I can trust." Hearing that from him made me feel sick. I said nothing. He continued, "I think she's cheating on me." My heart thumped. I knew the truth. But I couldn't reveal it yet. That would ruin everything I was planning. Instead, I asked, "What exactly did you see?" He opened his mouth to answer. But suddenly, a loud bang hit his car window. We both jumped. A rock rolled onto the ground. Someone had thrown it. When we looked up, we saw a black car parked near us with tinted windows. The door opened slowly. A woman stepped out. Ava. She walked straight toward us, anger burning in her eyes, her voice rising like fire. "So this is where you run when you panic, Daniel. To your ex-wife." Daniel froze. I froze. But Ava didn't stop. She reached into her bag and pulled out something that made both of us gasp. Ava pulled out a thick brown envelope and threw it on the hood of Daniel's car. Papers scattered across the metal, blown slightly by the wind. Some had company logos, some had numbers, and some had Daniel's name printed in bold letters. He stepped forward, confused. What is this? Ava crossed her arms. Proof that you're nothing without me. Proof of every illegal shortcut you took to impress my father. Proof that you used company funds to buy gifts you claimed were from your salary. Proof that you forged approvals just to get promoted faster. Daniel's face went pale. Ava, I didn't. She laughed. Did you think you were the only one playing a game? Daniel, I never planned to marry you. I only needed you to destroy a deal my father was about to sign with our biggest competitor. My heart dropped. So she used him. Every kiss, every smile, every promise. It was all part of her plan. Daniel tried to grab the papers, but Ava stepped on them with her heel. You're finished, she said. By tomorrow morning, these documents will be on my father's desk. And your career will be over. You might even go to jail. Daniel's voice cracked. Ava, please, please, don't do this. I did everything for you. She leaned close to him. And that was your mistake. Then she turned and walked back toward her car. But before she entered, she looked at me with a cold smile. You should thank me, Emily. You're finally going to see the real man you married. Her car door slammed shut, and the black car sped away, leaving dust and silence behind. Daniel dropped to his knees. He picked up the torn papers with shaking hands, mumbling, crying. I watched him quietly. This was the same man who said I wasn't good enough. The same man who threw me away like trash because he wanted a richer life. Now he had nothing. No job, no fiancé, no future, no status, no respect. And he finally realized the truth. Ambition without character destroys everything. He turned to me, tears running down his face. Emily, please, you're the only person who ever cared about me. Help me. Don't leave me like this. Please. I looked at him, really looked at him. For the first time, he wasn't proud. He wasn't arrogant. He wasn't powerful. He was just a broken man who destroyed his own life. I took a slow breath. Daniel, you walked out of our marriage for money and pride. You chose this path, not me. He grabbed my hand desperately. I know, but please, give me another chance. I pulled my hand away gently. No, I won't. His eyes widened. Emily, I stepped back. You didn't just break our marriage. You broke who I was. But I rebuilt myself without you. And now, I'm finally free. He covered his face and cried loudly, right there in the parking lot. I turned and walked away. Not because I hated him. But because the story needed to end exactly where it started. With him on his knees, begging for the life he threw away. As I reached my car, I felt something warm in my chest. Peace, strength, freedom. My revenge didn't destroy him. His own actions did. And the lesson is simple. When you betray the person who loved you the most, the universe has a way of bringing you back to your knees. I drove away without looking back. His cries faded behind me, swallowed by the distance.